A little bit of banter coming up on the show, and don't forget, your thoughts are welcome. Of course, our website partner is puntersparadise.com.au. You can have your say about anything we say on the show, including the dress sense of one Nicholas Quinn, and plenty of females and some males have actually chipped in with that. We do have a Twitter address. It's at TVNTTYK. And we've got an email, ttyk@tvn.com.au. If you got all of that, you're doing better than I am. Is Bradbury's Chocolate the new takeover target? Donald Baker bought this horse on the internet or something. Tell me the story.
Yeah, well, it was originally sold at the Magic Millions mix sale for $4,000 and then on-sold to the trainer for $800. He gave it to his partner as a present.
Because he forgot.
Yeah,
he forgot her birthday.
I don't think he's in the bad books now, though.
And then she said, "Where's my present?" He's gone, "Horse."
It's better than the old socks and undies trick, but it's won over 100,000 now. We've seen this win at Doomben on Saturday. It's an amazing performance. To draw a long bow with takeover target, we're still a long way away from that yet, but rags to riches, it's 7 from 7. You can't do much better than that.
Both Michael and Nick, I don't know whether there was money back for the horse, but on the corner was last and looked like it was hating the ground, the heavy 10. Not many were coming from the outside, but just stormed in the last 50 metres.
Absolutely. He's becoming a bit of a cult fan, I think, for punters out there, because it was a lot shorter on the tote than he was with the bookmakers. Yeah. So I think, I know in Melbourne anyway, all the talk in the morning on radio was about this horse. So there's been a groundswell of public support. And actually, Peter Mooney, interestingly enough, there's a little connection with him there, because he actually saw the horse a few weeks ago and he rang the trainer, an old mate from his Roma days, and said, "Hey, I think you got a city class horse here. Don't be scared to take it to town." So eventually took the hint and got the chocolates on Saturday.
Well, I listened to a radio interview with the trainer Donald Baker last week, and he was suggesting that it was handy to get the money and it'd be nice to win in town, because then I'll have enough to pay the feed bill and maybe get a new suit. All of those typical. It's almost Joe Janiak Part 2.
Yeah, that's the beauty of racing. You can see anyone can get their hands on a horse, and
Mick Tubman was another one.
You don't have to pay big money to get a champion horse. I think a lot of the horses you see these days that are performing well on the racetrack aren't always the ones with the most expensive price tags. So that's the beauty of our sport, that anyone can get their hands on a good horse.
Nick, are you a Bradbury's Chocolate fan?
Well, how can you not be, irrespective of whether you've backed the horse or not? I mean, it's fantastic just to think that people can get involved in the ownership of a city winner for that cheap. And, you look overseas in the Royal Ascot meeting when there was about 30 owners that owned all the horses over the 4 days. So it's a really elitist sport over there. And here, any punter can just have a go and hopefully Lady Luck smiles on you.
And if Donnie buys a new suit, maybe he can give you a tip when you get one.
Tipping Donald Baker's not $100 a day training fees either, just quietly. But anyway, boys, a question that was posed on our forum during the week and the weekend. How do you do the form? Now, a lot of people say you see them out there in the races and they've just got their Daily Telegraph or the Herald Sun or the Form Guide or the book. How do you do the form? I mean, I spend hours. It doesn't do me much good, but I like to think that if I'm going to throw money away, I'd like to spend a bit of time doing it. How do you do the form?
Well, for me, I sort of take a look at the nominations and weights earlier in the week. I don't do the form, but I'll have a look at the horses to see who's in. You get a general understanding. And then acceptances on a Wednesday. This is obviously for Saturday's racing. I'll then have a good look at them again Wednesday night, but I don't do the form until probably 11 o'clock on a Thursday, and take a couple of hours to go through.
Videos?
I do videos, but I do watch a lot of races and do the videos sort of every night.
In your head?
In your head. So you're sort of just using the form to trigger what you've seen in the past. But I think it is very reliant on doing the videos, because you can read form off the paper and you might see beaten 2.6 lengths and you think, oh, it wasn't a bad run. But then you watch the video, the horse might have over-raced, it might have been going slow early, might have hit the line quite nice. Doing the form on paper is good, but you must rely on videos to go with it.
Michael, your thoughts? How do you do the form?
Well, the way I've been going recently, I've got a very big dartboard at home, and I just put the form guide up there and throw a few darts. So, no, talking to what Brent says is 100% right. If you can have the time, have a look at the race replays. I know a lot of people are time short, though, these days, so you don't have a couple of hours when you've got the family and the kids there to sit down and do the video analysis. So the other thing is to listen to the experts, listen to these boys in the morning and follow the money. That's what I tend to do. When there's something that they've had a red-hot crack at, obviously the boys who do all the form and follow the videos know a bit more than what you do, so you can tend to follow them in.
Nick, you're the smartest, apparently.
My big thing is the speed maps. That's the first thing I always do because obviously it just makes such a huge difference. If you like a leader, that's all good and well, but there might be 5 other horses in the race that all are going to intend on leading as well, and therefore that can really affect the horse's chances. And the flip side is if there's not a lot of speed, you like a placement with Caitlin Mallion claiming a few, and you can get away with Murder in front and hopefully cheer home a winner.
Classic case of that was O'Crikey scratched on the weekend. Zakynthos imprints in Sydney, goes straight to the front, tips them up and wins.
Yeah, that proved the difference. You saw Ebony Rock and the second horse, which was Cornwall Park, really hitting the line strongly. But Laurie Ray, especially with the control the pace and with the 2 kilos. Yeah. Claim it was too strong at the finish.
What about trials? We're going to show you some Randwick trials from this morning involving Gay Waterhouse's imported gallopers. Do you take much out of the trials?
I certainly do. I really like the trials. A couple of weeks ago, this is a good example. A horse from the Anthony Cummings stable, Soapbox. She'd been trialling sensationally. Went to Canterbury. We put the money on first up, and she was disappointing. She got beat. She was heavily backed on that occasion, but because she'd showed ability at the trials, I stuck with her. And they put up 25 to 1 pre-post when she went to a Saturday grade race. Again, she didn't win, but she runs a very, very close second. And at 25 to 1, it was a great find because her form looked average, but the trials suggested prior that this horse does go good. So I take a lot of merit in the trials, but like with the form, you have to watch the videos. You can't just look at the results and say, oh, it ran good time in a trial, it won by 4 lengths or whatnot. Watch the trials, it's the only way you can do the form.
The only postscript to that was the 25 to 1 he took straight out and didn't back it each way and it finished second.
That's the risk you take, but that's
punting. That's the silly part.
That's the way it goes.
Iceman's written on the forum, in a decent time trial, I look for the one that finishes within 3 or so lengths under a hold, or the one that runs great time eased right down. The ones that are ridden out and do a great time can be unders and flat out the next start, sometimes good lays. And also, adding to that, maybe have the for sale sign written on them. Michael and Nick, you guys, sometimes trainers run their horses to trials to get them up so that they can be sold elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're spot on. What Brent said is you've got to watch the trials, and the beauty of TVN is that they show pretty much all the trials in focus, so you can see them with your own eyes. There might be one, as you said, that's getting beaten by 6 lengths, but they've got a half Nelson on it. And the other thing too is find out who's riding them, because it's catch weight. So you might have one going around with a 65 kilo bloke on, and the other one could have a little apprentice on, so it could be 20 kilo difference in the trial.
Nick, are you a trial fan or no?
Oh, it's a double-edged sword, the trials. I remember one day I went to Cranbourne and I saw this absolutely stunning-looking Danehill horse bolt in, a horse called Danerich, and they piled the money on $2 into $1.50 on debut at Caulfield. I think it was gone at about the 400-metre mark, so it can be very tricky because a lot of the trials are over 800 metres, 900 metres, and then they race over 1,000 or 1,200 metres, so it can be tough, but I really like that tweet that gentleman posted saying he likes the one that go to the line under a nice monkey grip, so they've obviously got a lot more up their sleeve.
And in Victoria, of course, you've got those sneaky ones that are held in behind closed doors that none of the rest of us get pictures to. They're the ones that get me.
Yeah, they're certainly good, those. You don't have to send around a 2-year-old without any trial form.
No public trials. Just watch the betting.
That's where you follow the money, boys.
Correct. Saturday hits and misses and the plunges. Michael, kick us off with Havana Ray. Someone's got the cash there at $6.
Nice start for that punter. Yeah, it took 3,100 at $6, which was a big go. Barramilla, as you spoke about, 7,000 at the 260. The one I liked, the one that's obviously been a good judge, is Ernest. They had 6,000 at the $6. Now, obviously, someone out there who's stuck fat with Ernest to get the cash. The plunges, it was a big day betting-wise. In Melbourne especially, we've spoken about second effort, $10 into $4.40. Lucky I'm barefoot. I tell you what, you look like you had your money spent at about the 200, $6.50 into $3.60. That's the second time they've just foiled a plunge on Lucky on Barefoot, so a bit unlucky for the punters there. So all in all, I'd say things were pretty much evenly divided on Saturday with the punters and the books.
Well, you had Barramilla, Brent, as your something for the battlers a couple of weeks ago. It was certainly one of the good goes of the weekend, and some of the misses. Let's have a look at the ones that didn't quite get it. And that wasn't mine, but I was on Sindarin.
She was off.
Snowden fans, Peck, again, just average. Happy Hussey was a bit of a lay in Sydney, so Rasamba, oh, please, just keep... And there should be another line that says Richmond, but we'll get to them shortly. Genuine Spin. There's one we want to have a talk about shortly. I know there's been an email about Genuine Spin as well. certainly featured in the Stewards Report, the winner of that race. Look, we're going to have your say straight after the break. Let's get social. That Twitter address is TVN at TVNTTYK, and the forum on puntersparadise.com.au. And after the break, we'll get to those forum posts and take a look at some tweets as well.